All right, all right, all right. I'm glad to be back in the building today. Good evening, everyone. Revive Mississippi. Today we got a great show today. The commissioner is actually out of town right now, having some great business out there in Western United States, California. He may be calling in this evening, but I hope he does give us an update. If not, we'll get that update for him next Wednesday. But first, let's go ahead and take care of some household things here. First, we want to give a great shout out to our continuous and faithful sponsors. That'll be Michael Jordan Transportation One. If you ever need any transportation, I'm talking about my veterans, my disabilities, senior citizens, church community organizations. You got a lot of great things coming up this springtime. We got a lot of things going on coming this summer. We don't want to leave nobody at home. Okay. And so my thing is, if you have an organization out there or whatnot, and you know you want your members to be there or people to come and join, just give Michael Jordan Transportation One a call, and I'm pretty sure they'll be able to help and solve your needs. Also, if you want some fast food, but it's not really fast food, but some good soul food out there in Dalton, I call it Tiger Town. Go ahead and stop by over there by Stem Super Burger. Grab one of those good old 1 pound, 2 pound beef burgers over there that the commissioner loves. And if you know, kind of like me, you're in transition stage, you're trying to slim down a little bit or keep yourself regular, clean out, all that good stuff. Grab one of those vegan burgers and some sweet potato fries. The commissioner, he loves those lemon pepper fries. I'm a little old school, whatnot. I think that sweet potato got something in there that's keeping me addicted to myself. But other than that, guys, I want to go ahead and get the show started here this evening. Basically, one of the topic of this evening is going to be talking about our workforce and what we call here the up next generation. You know, so that being said, here a couple of weeks ago, I was invited, and Commissioner and our team was invited to the event called the Skill Builds, and I was blown away. Being a person, I've been around the whole world and came back home, and I'm like, well, K through 12, I never knew about this organization right here. So I got a gentleman to my left here. He's gonna give you his name and tell us a little bit about the organization himself, and we're gonna go from there. How you doing this evening?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You got me hungry now. I'm talking some Stamps burgers and everything.
Good food, man. Good food.
Yeah. So Brent Bean, president of Build Mississippi, formerly known as MCEF, Mississippi Construction Education Foundation, and our job, our mission, our goal is to recruit and promote and train a construction workforce for the state of Mississippi, and we do so by partnering with the Department of Education, the high school career and tech centers across the state, supervising, sponsoring, working with those programs, those construction and manufacturing programs to ensure that the instructors have what they need to be successful.
Yes.
And that the students have what they need to be successful, that we're ensuring that the students in these programs are receiving the training they need so that they're prepared to have a career in this industry and help build the state of Mississippi.
Now, you know, we talked with you briefly that evening, that afternoon. We kind of actually missed the big, finale, but during our conversation, our dialogue, there's certain things that I always try to make sure the commissioner keep on pushing up here. The children are next. They come right behind us. And we can talk about all the negative stuff all the time, but I know there's a lot of great things going on in the state of Mississippi. I don't think the word is getting out like breathing the air. So you just don't see it. But it's there though. But let's take a little step wind back a little bit. What made you even go in that field, go in that lane a little bit, whatnot though? Because really, you're doing missionary work to me.
Yeah,
you're doing ministry work. So let's tell people a little bit about that journey, please.
Yeah. So I'm a Mississippi boy, born and raised, and actually from Amite County, rural southwest part of Mississippi. My family is in the dairy business, has been for ages.
Gotcha.
So grew up outside and saw people doing a lot of hard work. My dad was very serious about, he wasn't going to make me do the hard work. He wanted me to go to school, get a higher education, go to college, get a degree. So I went that route. Seeing other family members did not go that route, and they were extremely successful.
What do you mean by extremely successful now, man? You say mouthful, right?
So when I say extremely successful, I'm looking at it from the point of you're married, you've got 2, 3, 4 kids, you got a house, and everybody has their own bedroom. You know, you're driving a truck that's paid off. Mama may work if she wants to, or she can be a stay-at-home mom. You know, there's money in the bank, the bills are paid, and everybody's taken care of.
So you're talking about a true lifestyle that many Americans would probably call American dream.
Exactly.
With no debt.
And these are individuals that, you know, don't have 4-year diplomas hanging on the wall or, you know, law degrees. These are people that, you know, they work hard for a living. But at the end of the day, they're proud of what they did because they put their hands on something, and, you know, they go home after a hard day's work and their family's taken care of and truly living the American dream. And that's all, and that's available all across Mississippi. You see it all the time.
Okay. I dipped and dabbed in the education arena for a while, several years ago. And people are always pushing people to, you know, go into, like, the tech industry is booming right now. So you got a lot of people going to the tech fields and everything. But after coming to that meeting with you, that you guys had, I learned is that that's great, but somebody got to build it.
Right.
Somebody got to have the right of way. Somebody got to have the core. I mean, it's a lot more as far as the blueprint that nobody really is talking about, and somebody's paying the money for that to be developed. And that needs to be stressed to the degree where we can take a lot of air out the room. You know, stop making excuses for this, make excuses for that, whatnot. Though I don't know, everybody knows that I just looked at an article. It just said that 40% of the construction workers by 2030, which is right around the corner, will be 1 in 5 would be over 55 years old. So, I mean, how do you guys, how do Build Mississippi, get involved in that?
So, yeah, you're dead on with those numbers. We see it right now that we're already short craft workers. We hear it from all of the contractors. So just, you know, to give you a little idea, you know, we're a nonprofit that is funded by the commercial contractors in Mississippi.
So private sector.
That's who funds our operation. So by being funded by them, that's who sits on our board of directors. And so we have all of these partnerships. So when I'm speaking on, you know, straight word of mouth from contractors in the construction industry here in Mississippi, and they're constantly saying, hey, I've got this job going on, I've got this job, but we need more workers. I can get it done in a more efficient manner, more profit for everybody involved. If we can get it done faster, we need more workers. And the people that I've got that are leading these jobs, they're ready to retire now. But they've been invested in something for 20, 30 years, and they don't want to walk away knowing that there's not somebody there capable that's going to continue on this legacy and this tradition. So what we're doing is we're going out, we're going to the high schools, we're talking to the sophomores, the juniors, the seniors, we're talking to the counselors. We're trying to do more to get in front of the parents and the grandparents, because I know that we've got to reach them as well. But we're talking to these kids and letting them know, hey, if your plans are to go to college and you know that's what you want to do, you want to be a doctor, or you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a banker, that's great. We need those. We need those people. But if you're not sure of what you want to do, hey, somebody's got to build that bank. Somebody's got to build that hospital. When that UMMC is being renovated or expanded, you know, the doctors and the nurses don't go down the hall to put the new lights in the operating rooms. No, they hire electricians to do it. And those electricians are making just as much as those nurses and those entry level
How
doctors.
long did your electrician go to school for?
So we run a 4-year apprenticeship program.
Okay.
And the majority of those guys that are coming out of this apprenticeship program are coming out no debt because they didn't take out
I
student
want to make
loans.
sure that the audience listening, audience hear that going to a 4-year institution is what I call it.
Yeah.
And you tell them they're coming out with zero
They're
debt.
coming out with zero debt
Okay.
because it's a true work as you learn. You know,
Okay.
these
Oh,
guys,
OJT then, on the
Yes.
job training.
these guys and girls, happy to say that we do have a few ladies
That's
in
good.
the program. We're hoping to keep expanding that. But these individuals are working 40, 50 hours a week. You know, we'll use the electricians as an example. We've got HVAC technicians, plumbers, sheet metal specialists. All of these trades were out there available, and we're running apprenticeship programs. But this electrician, he goes through a 4-year program. His employer's paying for him to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got no school debt. He's getting paid as he's going to school.
Also, you get
So,
paid while he's going to school.
He's getting paid while he's going to school. After 4 years, you've got 4 years of education, both in the classroom and on the job training, because you've been working full time for those 4 years, getting paid, getting raises.
You didn't tell me this talking.
Possibly even, I got to keep some secrets in the back pocket for the show. We've got all,
Go ahead.
so these individuals are graduating the apprenticeship program, and now they're making anywhere from $22 to $25 an hour.
Okay.
No debt.
Single.
I mean, majority of them honestly are single. They're driving big trucks. I always point that out to a lot of the young kids when I'm talking to them, like, look at this F-250.
You're right.
Because you see a lot of young men, man, they love the big trucks.
They do. There's not 150, it's 250. You said a big difference.
These guys. Look at these guys. So, with overtime coming in there, you're talking about these apprentices are graduating and they're making, $60,000, $70,000 a year with no debt. All right. Getting ready to, a lot of our guys are taking their journeyman license right upon graduation. So, you're coming out of there, you're a licensed journeyman electrician. All right. Making $60,000, $70,000 a year. No student loans that you're having to pay off of. Your buddy that may have gone to college for 4 years. Nowadays, let's be honest, the majority of people that are going to college, it's not a 4-year degree, it's a 5, 6 year degree.
Or 7 years.
I'm being honest with you. So you've got a head start on them because you've been working, getting money in the bank this whole time, and again, getting raises and promotions. I see it all the time that a lot of our top end apprentices, before they graduate, they're driving company vehicles.
So tell me
they're team leads. They're leading jobs already.
So how old are these young men when they graduate?
These people are 22, 23 years old.
So I just want to be kind of transparent as much as possible because I'm a military vet, so we make a sacrifice. And that's what you're telling me is almost just about the same. In the military, but if you get a couple of years, depending on your FSC, your job scale, you go right into Fort Worth. But you guys are walking them through the whole 4 years, and give them the real world experience. You get it. My only question right now would be is, can we get the program to start a little bit earlier?
So,
or there's some red light. I mean, I'm talking about like, can they start as a sophomore or start as a junior in high school?
So there is some red tape to that. So I can't go too deep into it, but I will tell you that there are the initial discussions have begun.
Okay, that's good.
And trying to see how we can get our high school programs, they're 2-year programs, typically sophomores and juniors or juniors and seniors are taking on. And we are working to see how we can partner with the Department of Labor, because our apprenticeship program is a registered Department of Labor apprenticeship program. What we want to do is work with the Department of Labor to recognize our high school programs as a pre-apprenticeship program. So that these individuals that are going through these 2 years there could possibly be getting credit for that before they come into the apprenticeship program, and possibly knock some of that time off to where they don't have to go through the full 4 years, because we're going to be able to give them some credit for what they've already done.
Kind of like AP classes to a certain degree, whatnot, though.
Absolutely.
You know, I know a lot of people. I like to follow national news a lot and see what's going on. But I know the state of Florida just made this pass a bill, new law. They reduced their age where you can start working.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some of the red tape is always in the conversation. You said Department of Labor, when they can begin to work, when they can't begin to work.
Yeah.
I get that.
And the Department of Labor has been good with us and working with us, that they've already, I wouldn't say they're loopholes, but loosened up some restrictions on individuals that are in our high school programs, because they are classified as school to work programs.
Yeah.
So those individuals are able to get on construction jobs and work for construction companies. There are certain limitations on, you know, the types of jobs that they're doing,
safety,
but they are, at least they do have the opportunity to get on some real job sites, get some real life experience, and see what's going on.
But you know, one thing I see what Build Mississippi is doing is a lot of holistic things that people probably are not really like seeing in your face. You're molding people to become better citizens. You know, you know, and you're doing that to a degree that they will get more, they'll be mature.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm talking about set aside some of their foolish ways, whatnot, because the environment you guys are putting them in is an environment they have to conduct themselves in this manner.
Absolutely.
And also there's a demand for their services. You know, I would say this over and over: we can't subsidize our workforce to other countries, even when it comes to the tech industry. When it comes to the construction industry, you gotta hire your people locally, statewide, and nationally, because you know they don't get no jobs. There's other vices out there, you know, that young folks or even adults can get on, and now we pay for it as citizens in a whole other manner.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not something we're trying to increase, because that's already full, if you ask me. But you spoke about earlier that you had a recent trip, and if you could speak a little bit about that, or whatnot.
Yeah, so a lot of people are aware that the Amazon Web Services are bringing a couple of data centers to the state of Mississippi, here in the Madison, Hines area. And, you know, everybody's been really excited about, hey, these data centers are going to be great. They're going to bring, you know, at least 1,000 jobs once they're up and running. It's going to be good pay. And that's all true. But we were reached out to specifically to go to Seattle and visit with AWS and their team and their contractors to discuss, okay, yeah, the data centers are coming. We've bought the land and we're getting ready to start building these data centers, but it's the construction workforce going to be in place to run the infrastructure to these data centers and to build the data centers themselves. A lot of people, when we have announcements, you know, of a new manufacturer or new warehouse or new business coming, a lot of people will focus on, man, this is going to be great. This is going to be this many jobs. And sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle. Well, it's also going to demand all of these construction jobs as well, because, hey, somebody's got to run electricity. Somebody's got to build a road to this place. Somebody's got to build the pad and build the building. More than likely, they're going to want air conditioning in that building. They're going to want lights in that building and plumbing. And that's where our people come into play. You know, we always talk about, you know, this is great that it's coming, but don't forget that it's also providing other opportunities as well that's coming on the front end before the business is even up and running. And those are just as good of paying jobs. You know, that is something that
I would say they're probably a little more over.
Well, that's over the last, you really have seen a difference over the last 5 to 10 years of the construction industry realizing, hey, we've got to pay more.
Yeah.
And not only do we have to pay more, but we got to offer better benefits to compete with these other entities out there, whether it's, you know, the manufacturers or other business entities that are out there. You know, you got to offer good medical insurance,
Mhm.
family medical
Yep.
insurance, retirement, 401k benefits, time off,
You're
all
right.
of those things that, um, my generation, I'm a millennial. I don't feel like I'm a millennial,
I'm
but
a millennial
you know,
myself.
but a lot of, the millennials and younger generation, they want the higher pay,
Come on,
but they also, hey, I want to be able to have time off, and
Good.
I want to make sure
quality of
that
life. Come on.
exactly. I
Yeah.
want to make sure that, in 25 years that I've got a
Or
good
less.
retirement built up for me, that I don't have to work 50 years of my life. So the construction industry has really embraced that over the last few years, to where the pay and the benefits that are available for these commercial contractors, you can compare it to anybody. I
Gotcha.
mean,
So it don't matter if you're going to the pharmaceutical industry, if you don't matter if you're going to this, I'm just saying,
exactly.
it's all there. One thing we mentioned the Amazon data center, and I have to horn on to this. I've been doing a little research, and I know the governor said a few numbers this, but I'm thinking about 5,000 to 7,000 workers got to be, got to construct this layout.
At least. So when I was in Seattle, I had the privilege of actually touring an
Okay.
active data center,
Mm-hmm.
where they had 4 data centers built. They were actively running,
Mm-hmm.
and they were building some new ones. And got the opportunity to talk to the general contractor that's overseeing everything taking place. And they're having a couple thousand people on site every day. And that's not including the people that are working in the data centers. These are the people that are coming in and building the data centers, laying the pads, building the walls. So
it's a lot of concrete being poured.
A lot of concrete.
I just thinking about how many trucks got to come in. Dump,
yeah, I know MMC was real excited to hear about this coming. But yeah, there's just so many opportunities that are involved. Just, the new Sheraton. I use it as an example all the time when I go and talk to people. The new Sheraton right around the corner from the airport. It's a beautiful hotel.
Nice rooftop, overseeing the whole city line.
Hotel.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many electrical and plumbing apprentices that we had that helped build that building. That were running the wires and putting in the lights. So, when I go and do PowerPoint presentations to students, I'm telling them, hey, look, the kind of jobs that I'm recruiting you to and trying to get you into, it's not something where you're sitting around and waiting on, Aunt Sally to call you to come replace a ceiling fan. Sure, you may do that on the side,
You're right,
for Aunt Sally, but these are the type of things, the new Sheraton, these new hospitals, the Vaught Hemingway Stadium at Ole Miss, the new suites going up at Mississippi State. That's what our apprentices and that's what our graduates and people are working on, are these types of things, these massive elaborate buildings that 10, 15 years from now, you're driving down the road and you got your kids in the back seat. You can say, hey, Dad built that. Or you happen to be staying in the hotel, or you're in a suite at the football game.
There you go.
Hey, Daddy ran the lights to this. And there's something to say about that. That's really cool to take pride in what you do.
See, we speaking on the family, and to that degree, once you get a building constructed, a lot of people we listen to all probably understand this, but the young folks really don't have their full scope. You're creating an ecosystem where somebody has to eat, sleep, and they like to be there somewhere near and close to their job, like 5 minutes less, really.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, there's going to be more construction and housing. It's going to demand it, whether you don't want to build it or not. It has to be built.
Always.
And everybody's kind of particular what kind of housing they want. So you have different classes of housing that's going to be needed. Then also you're gonna have restaurants. You're gonna have more. So what I'm saying, the industry with their workload, and I always say, with the big migration that's coming from the Western United States, it's coming more East United States and Southern. And Mississippi's getting a taste of it, even though we didn't have a population growth last year. But a lot of these tags in the city are Texas and California. So I'm saying that there's another big demand that construction people who are in their skills that pays the bills can always eat.
Always. That is something that's one of the major talking points that we have when we go and talk to young people. Specifically, a lot of people, we don't want to look back at 2020 and talk about COVID and things of that nature. But
it was real.
It was real and it happened. And a lot of people got laid off and a lot of people aren't back to work.
That's true.
Construction industry didn't stop.
It couldn't stop.
Matter
of fact, I think most municipalities throughout the state, those who did took advantage of not having those traffics out there. Yeah. So you saw more people late. I saw more infrastructure as far as interstate throughout the country that was being done because they didn't have all that, the hindrance of safety and all that other good stuff. I mean, I'm just to your point.
The construction industry is always going to roll on. Everybody, we're always growing. We're always wanting bigger, better, newer. Mm-hmm. Well, that's great. Somebody's got to be trained and skilled in order to build it.
So what do you, I mean, well, let me make this other point right here. There'll be $32 million I know is going for training out of that deal. Is that enough? And I'm not just saying to say that. I'm seriously saying that because when that data center gets built and finished, you're going to have, and the commissioner always says that you got $300 to $500 million corporations that are going to come down here in Mississippi. And I'm saying right now is that enough? Because I got I think JRTC Captain Colonel Brown over here at JPS. They literally have a great program. They actually train these young folks for tomorrow.
Yeah.
If he had any win of this right now, because he's a logistics guy. So he knows all about building up things and stuff like that. Is it enough? Because other people probably want to be a part of this. And I just heard about it a couple of years ago. I don't see it when I'm driving through the Delta or I'm driving down to the coast. I don't see it. But hold on. Let's take our commercial break right quick, please, here. All right. So, hey, once again, if you need any transportation, any type of transportation out there now, contact Michael Jordan Transportation One for any community event you have coming up. Especially for our veterans, our disabled people out there, or anybody affected by any type of disease. You need transportation, let's please contact Michael Jordan Transportation One. Also, if you need a good old something to eat, like I say, it's kind of fast, but it's not fast. But it's a good old burger down there, the Stamp Super Burger. Get old 1 2 pound burger that Commissioner Stamps like with some lemon pepper fries, and then also come on down and get some of that good old garden burger with some sweet potato fries. That's what I like with that. So other than that, guys, I appreciate you, and back to our show. So back to what I was saying there. I know there's a lot of, and I know you guys partner with MDE. I understand that. I've seen that, but I don't think it's to the degree where you guys build Mississippi Vision is at, or near it.
Yeah. So
that's why I'm asking. I know Amazon out there does $32 million. Okay, on top of the money's already out there already. But what's the vision really? How would you guys like to be? Would you guys have in every school district, would you guys have a pipeline coming to your program?
Yeah. So, our ultimate vision is to just have pipelines running where whenever there's job openings, we've got people there to fill them. Yep. I will tell you that, one of the biggest obstacles and hurdles is not necessarily the funding for it, maybe the funding for the marketing to change somebody's mind. And that's something that you and I talked about, MCF, they're about, the Build Mississippi is our new brand, and it's a new campaign that we're pushing statewide to really tell this is who we are and this is what we're trying to do. We are literally trying to build Mississippi. Yeah. But that obstacle, that hurdle that we face is right now we've got 113 career and tech centers, high school career and tech centers in the state. We're in all 113 of them with construction, electrical, HVAC programs, welding, all across the state. Right at 6,000 high school students are in there. The problem is we talk to those 6,000 students, and a lot of them you can see, the spark light in their eye.
Mhm.
They're in the shop already. They're getting to do it. They're learning about the opportunities that are available to them to have not just a job, but a career,
Yeah.
a true career and a lifestyle that's available to them to go down this road. And then they go home and mom or dad says, no, you're not going to be a plumber. You're not going to do that.
Mhm.
And that spark has water poured on it just instantly. And once it's poured out, it's hard to get it
It's
back.
hard to get back.
It's hard to get it back
Gotcha.
because, we've all been 14, 15, 16 years old. And of course, there's a time where you're like, I'm not going to listen to mom and dad anymore. But also in the back of your mind, you still listen to mom and dad.
Oh, yeah. It's programmed already.
If mom's saying, no, my baby's not going to be a plumber, you're going to go to college. Well, that's programmed in. That's all that you're considering to
Mhm.
do.
You do want to make your mother, parents, or your father that
Absolutely.
happy.
So that's the hurdle is we're trying to get moms and dads and grandmas to understand, hey, you can be very proud of little Johnny being a plumber.
Mhm.
I've told you and I've told other people, one of the wealthiest individuals I know is a plumber
You told me that.
without a college degree.
Mhm.
So that's not the only pathway to be successful in life. And I'm not anti-college. I've got a 4-year degree
Yeah.
from Delta State. Love Delta State University.
Gotcha.
My wife went to Ole Miss. I'm not against a 4-year degree or the IHLs,
Mhm.
but what I am against is, causing a young person to think that their worth or the only way that there's value or success put on them is if they go to an IHL
Well,
and they get a degree from it. That's just not
Well,
true.
one thing I would say about Bill, Mississippi, the great work you guys are doing. When I came back home from the military, I got my 4-year degree in 2 years. And about my second year going in, I was telling my colleagues, I was like, what you guys gonna do that Monday? I kept on saying, what you gonna do that Monday? And they were like, what you talking about, Jason? I said, after you walk across that stage, where are you gonna be at?
Right.
I said, all of us that's graduating this program, this degree, we gotta have a job Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
I can say this truly. Just listen to you guys and seeing the work you guys are doing. Wherever they do graduate, that Monday, they actually can go work for someone else, or guess what? You can go work for themselves.
Yeah. Speaking to that, I know firsthand some of my good friends
Mhm.
that graduated not just with a business degree, but went and got their MBA.
Okay, master, yeah.
And a beautiful resume with education.
Yes.
And they're looking around trying to find a job.
Because
for the last 20 years, that's what we were funneling everybody to.
Yeah.
Everybody was going and getting a business degree.
Will did that market did a good job on us.
Oh yeah, it worked. It worked. So I know, like I said, firsthand, some well-educated individuals that are successful and they've gotten their opportunities, but they were looking around, interviewing for job after job.
Yeah.
An electrician's not taking their resume to people. They got people coming to them.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll pay you this much to come work for me. I'll pay you this much more to come work for me, because they're in such demand.
And you got different levels like journeyman,
master electrician.
And they kind of demand
absolutely
what they can do.
More money.
We talked about the private sector for a while and the housing sector and whatnot, though. But let me say one more thing. You do have to think on public works and municipalities.
Yeah.
And they have some of these same things.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking at it. Doesn't matter where you go, there's an opportunity for you. And if you don't want to, I hope you don't want to, leave the state of Mississippi. That's one of the things we're losing right now. Losing all that great talent. Then we train them up here and then they go somewhere else. But they could take that trade and skill.
Absolutely.
Somewhere else, but not.
Absolutely. You say that, it reminds me of a phrase. When we were talking to contractors about putting their employees into training and investing in them, he's like, man, what if I invest in the training and he leaves me? And somebody said, well, what if you don't invest in the training of him and he stays with you?
Look at the opportunity, not dwell on the obstacles all the time.
Absolutely.
That's something that narrative is always spoken in that manner. I think the time does get life or death. So you would see the positive change where people actually want to stay here. And then I don't think my guys at MDA, they'll find more major companies come here and work with the as Commissioner of State Utility guys and to drive.
And that's part of it. When you can show that you've got a strong workforce that's going to, provide the infrastructure that you need. Then absolutely, that's just more enticing for somebody to come.
I believe Mississippi does have a great workforce. I think the narrative may be skewed.
I'm so glad you said that.
I'm being honest with you on that.
I say it all the time. You see just on social media and the national media or what have you, the millennials and Gen Z, they get a bad rep, and Gen X even below them. All of these young people get a bad rep for nobody wants to work. That's just not the case. Now, by far. Are there people out there that don't work? Sure. But I can tell you firsthand, you saw, we just had 2 weeks ago down at the Trade Mart, we had the Trade Mart full of 200 high school juniors and seniors putting on a show. They were out there for a day and a half, welding, carpentry, HVAC, electrical, masonry, out there mixing mortar, laying block. Did it for a day and a half, competing for the state championship. Those winners are able to go to Atlanta this summer to compete at the national championship. But if anybody was to walk through and see those, and that's just a small sample size. That was just 200 that won their regionals to able to get here to state. So, I always, when people, will make those comments like, well, these kids today don't want to work. That's just not the case. Now, sure, there are some kids, but there's always been kids.
I think every generation has always been that thing. But sometimes when you tell one lie, it's so easy to tell another lie, the same old lie over and over and over. But if I go back and look at my mom's generation, my grandma's generation, they had some old fools there. And they had some young fools. Yeah. But everybody just bad. Everybody was bad. So that is something that we have to change that narrative in Mississippi and take pride in our communities locally and statewide. But one more thing though, I want to say about that event. You guys make all these great designs when we're at the competition. I'm talking about it's like real deal, like you can put it at your house. Yeah. I just want to make sure next year when me and the commissioner come and Jared, I don't know who does the welding, but I saw this.
The chimeneas.
Yes.
Yeah. Those are cool.
That was like, I don't know how much that would cost at a store or whatnot, though, but that was made out of real, all metal?
All steel, yes.
You can cook on top?
Yes.
Yeah,
those are cool. Those are cool. Yeah, and that's another thing that, we try to invite people to come down and see. These young people that we're talking about, they're not out there building birdhouses. No. They're doing some elaborate stuff.
Real roof work, real.
Matter of fact, for those that are going to be going to the state fair in October or any event down on the fairgrounds,
right?
All of the ticket booths and the guard security shacks that are there now are what we built last year and donated to the fairgrounds. So these are 8x8. Sheds with doors and windows.
I don't know how much they cost when you're trying to buy them at Home Depot or Lowe's. I'm just saying, but it's real deal. Mississippi owned, building made, not factory. I don't mind having a factory here, but hey, it's just like I said. I really had a great time that day, man. I to see the work you guys are doing. A lot of people probably know about it. I just don't think it's been told enough of the great work that's going on here in Mississippi. And you're dealing with our youth. To me, once again, you're helping our crime, whether you believe it or not. Okay, then you're helping men and women how to develop and become, model citizens. This is stuff that many people probably just looking at them getting a trade or skill. I'm looking at the holistic person. You're
developing into, mature men and women that are going to be successful citizens for the state of Mississippi. And that's what we want.
Yes.
We want to develop stronger citizens in our state that's going to make us not just build elaborate buildings and have great buildings, but, just to reinforce we're the hospitality state, and we want to reinforce that, Mississippi is a great state with great people.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're known for great things. And we're going to end here shortly, but I just want people to understand that, the work you guys are doing, these trade skills these guys are receiving, every 20, 30 years, you'll need a new batch coming through, and you got to feed that pipeline. Just when it comes to like our housing market, I know our housing market in the state of Mississippi, you go in some areas, good and well that these houses it needs to be weatherized. It's so much that has to be done. Well, you might need more new affordable housing here too. And most times when it comes to construction development, the main chunk of it is going to be your workforce to build it,
right?
And if you don't have that many, then you have to outsource that. I've seen the guys when they come in from trucks, and they're from different states, and they're doing developments.
Yeah.
They literally building, and nothing wrong with that. However, I know we have many young men and young women here in this state that want to eat and provide for their own selves too. Right. So my thing is,
we give them the opportunity.
I would say give them opportunity, but for me, just like we have our math, reading, and I think social studies, some of the courses are mandatory. Some of the things, I'm not saying get rid of all of them, but we have to find a way to infuse real world skills prior to just high school. For me, I'm looking at 6th to 8th grade. Why? Because you have this technology out there, TikTok and all that stuff that people are making great money for. However, when your plumbing goes bad and you don't know how to deal with it, you don't want nobody that's coming in and just going, for me, I don't want nobody to screw me.
Right.
If I can't do the job myself, I at least want to be exposed.
Right. And have an understanding of what the problem is.
What the problem is, and then make sure, what the fair is asking for is reasonable too. So I'm saying it's just so much more that what Build Mississippi is doing and your partnerships. I did see Nissan was out there. The gentleman, he just loves he's living his best life right now because he know he's giving back. And he's actually see what he's giving back in the fruits of it.
And you're probably referring to Gino. Gino's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Gino's awesome at Nissan. And he's one that has truly embraced, investing in our future. Mm-hmm. Investing in the young people, because he knows that, hey, if we don't grow them and invest in them, we're going to look up in 10 years, like we're talking about, and all of a sudden we've brought all these great industries in here. We don't have the people to maintain them.
Yeah. And I can't stress it enough that we have to believe in our young folks. Even though I know the listener also, well, Jason, you ain't that old yourself. Just had a birthday in March, so yeah, you're right. But however, I see these guys. I know what they're dealing with in this day and age, and I also know they want people to love on them in the ingredients. Say, hey, young man or young lady, hey, you ever think about getting the trade, getting the skill, or you can still be that doctor and still have that trade. I mean, I know lawyers who work in this industry, and they do other things. Right. One is a chef. I know lawyers who do law, but they also a singer. So we don't have to be limited. But this is a field that's actually needed. Like, you guys have a great demand. Before we leave out here, please leave us your contact information. How folks can join you guys and be part of Build Mississippi.
Absolutely. So best options, go to our website. It's buildmississippi.com. And then you can get in touch with us anyway. We have a ton of information. It's a brand new website. A lot of information broken down for parents, for educators, for the students themselves on there. Or you can email me directly. It's brent.bean@buildmississippi.com.
Okay, guys. Hey, you heard it from his man himself. He's trying to continue the legacy of building Mississippi in the future. Future is now. It's present. Amen. With Amazon, actually, I think the government in the last year or two done dropped about $12 billion in the state. So that's a lot of infrastructure. The aluminum plant that got built, and I know it's going to be a lot more. That being said, let's not have all the outsourcing of the workers to be out of state.
Let's do it ourselves.
Let's do it ourselves. Hey, that's gonna end our show this evening, guys. But hey, as we always say here at Provide Mississippi, never let anyone cause you to be in a position where you want to hate those that are in your community, whatnot. Though, hey guys, Commissioner, as he said he love you guys. He love Mississippi. You guys be safe. Be blessed. I appreciate that, man.